Let's get more on this. I'm joined now by journalist and blogger Afrah Nasser. Thank you very much for joining us. Welcome to the program. Now, we hear a lot about the Syrian refugee crisis, but what about the Yemeni refugees? Have they been able to seek refuge in neighboring countries?
Sad that we are trying to compare tragedies, but I mean, since you asked the question, I would say that the tragedy in Yemen is not getting the same attention that it deserves comparing to the situation in Syria. But the best characterization that has been said to compare the two tragedies, that the damage that has been caused in Syria in 4 or 5 years has been done in Yemen in 4 or 5 months. And that does not go only to the humanitarian catastrophe, but also to the creation of different factions, different armed groups, and even the rise of terrorist groups like ISIL.
Okay, now, Afrah, have you been in Sweden as the civil war unfolded in Yemen? Tell me, what's it been like to follow the events back home?
It's really extremely difficult to continue report and cover Yemen from abroad as the situation is getting more difficult, more catastrophic and worsening by every minute. When I left Yemen 5 years ago, it was just to study in Sweden, and things escalated, and I thought that was just a temporary solution. But I can't describe the pain that I have while still reporting about Yemen and seeing from outside how the disaster has been growing and growing, and it's snowballing till today. And if the ceasefire does not hold, I think we're facing irreversible catastrophe.
Now, we have a large population in Yemen being displaced. Half the country's population. Where are they going?
That's a very critical question, because Yemen, geographically wise, is located exactly as a neighbor to the Saudi-led coalition members that are fighting inside Yemen. So they have Saudi from their borders, and Oman and Emirates, and then the other side it's Ethiopia and Djibouti and Somalia. And those countries by themselves have a dire situation. So for Yemenis, it can be fair to say that it's a slow death, because they're sieged and they have nowhere to go. And the more the situation in Yemen is not getting the attention it deserves, the more people are dying in silence. And while the world is not paying attention to the tragedy that's going on there. So we have a situation where 80% of the population, around 20 million people, who are besieged and in dire situation, who need humanitarian assistance, and that's like the largest number of population in the globe, beyond even more than Syria. We're talking about people that are, or kids that are born and dying within this 1 year because of lack medicine, because of their mothers could not reach to the hospital, because the shelling, because so many factors that are created by this war. So there are a generation that grew up in 1 year and died in 1 year.
Indeed, a tragic situation. All right, Afrah Nasser, thank you very much for joining us.